Hi, second grade. My name is Miss Emolyn Liden, and I am a teaching artist in the PACE program in Lafayette, Louisiana, where we combine classroom curriculum with the arts. Today, we are going to be doing a math lesson, and we're going to combine our counting by fives, and we're going to work with counting by tens, and we are going to make a pattern or a design out of that concept. You may be watching from your classroom, and you also may be watching from home. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Raise your hand and ask your teacher, or maybe you have an adult at home working with you where you can check some ideas with and ask them their advice as well. We're going to start today's exercise by standing up and standing behind your chair. If you've been sitting a long time, it's important to get up every once in a while. So stand up and push your chair into your desk, and let's just do a little swaying motion to make sure that we have enough space around us, right? We need personal space when we do some of these movement exercises. Okay, so stand nice and tall behind your chair. Has everyone in your classroom pushed your chair in? Okay, we're going to jump right in to some of these math words. You've been working with adding and subtracting. You've been learning what one number plus another number, when added together, makes a different number. Usually, well, I guess it would be always a bigger number if you're adding, right? And you've also been learning subtracting. You've been taking one number and taking something away from that and getting a smaller number out of it. You've been thinking of concepts about more and less. Let's demonstrate more as in going up, because we have, let's say, a pile of something. When we have more, it gets bigger. When we have less, it gets smaller. Right, and we've been talking about the total. The total is what you get as a final answer, right? Okay, so let's practice counting by fives. Have you done that yet? I hope so. Maybe for some of you this is a review, and maybe for some of you this is a way to exercise your brain and your body. Connecting your body to a thought helps us remember things. So what we're going to do is we're going to count by fives, and I think we can go all the way to 100. And by reaching in front of you, one hand is going to be open with all of our fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one hand is going to be closed, representing the 0 that pops in every once in a while when we are counting by fives. Okay, for example, 5 would be the first number, right? So we'll do 5 and 10. 15 and 20, and we'll go all the way to 100. Ready? Get your hands ready. Let's do a little shake up high, shake down low, shake your knees. Okay, here we go. Just reaching out in front of you, and that if your chair is right there, then you have space to work with. Here we go. And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Yay! Did you do it? Did we go too fast? Did we go too slow? You can practice and see how fast you can get. I bet you can go real fast. Okay, moving on. I want to show you some of these pictures up close so that you can see our concepts of design, pattern, and art. Go ahead and pull your chair back out and have a seat and find a piece of paper. It can be a scrap piece of paper, meaning there can be something on one side. We are just going to use a little part of paper and your pencil to talk about our shape of the day or our line of the day, and that is going to be the curved shape. Okay? So get a piece of paper and a pencil. And we're going to look at the curve shape, and I would like you to draw it on your piece of paper. So I have a marker here, and I drew a curve shape really big so that you can understand what I want you to work on today. Okay? So take your pencil, and it doesn't have to be this big, but draw a curve shape on your piece of paper. Okay? Anywhere you want to put it. One curve shape. We are looking to nature, and we're finding some math in nature. We're finding some concepts of patterns and patterns that grow out of something that repeats. We're going to be using these math concepts with our curve shape to create a piece of work. So if you've drawn the curve shape, look at this curve shape right here. Does it kind of look like a curve shape that you just drew? Something that is different is that this curve shape comes up, nice curve, but then it connects on the other side to make a nice curve shape of a flower. We're using nature to inspire our art. In this case, we're using beautiful flowers to inspire our art to practice our curve shape. So find a new place on your paper that has not been drawn on yet and make a curve shape, make another curve shape, make another curve shape. Now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the curve shape from the top coming down on the other side, and that's how we are going to create our flower petals. Are you ready? So take your pencil to the top of the curve, and we're going to connect it to the bottom of the curve. And we're going to make a nice flower petal shape. Good. Go to your next curve shape and make a flower petal shape. And go to that last curve shape, go to the top edge of it, and connect it to the other side. And we have another flower petal shape. Good. If we look one more time at our inspiration page, we see that these flower petals, not only is the top of the curve connected to the bottom of the curve, but what is that shape? What does it have to do to make it look more like a flower? We have to now connect our petal shapes. Okay? So let's practice connecting. So find the end and go down with a nice curve, just like our big one. Good. And find the end, and this can be the center now. We can consider it the center. And connect one more time. Good. We're going to make a flower with 5 petals because our magic number today in math is 5. So let's make 1, 2. Let's make another curve out to the side. So this is our center. You can go center out or out in. It doesn't matter, but just make it nice and curved. Good. Go out to the tip of the petal. And we're going to come back to the center and we're going to curve this shape. Good job. 3 petals. Let's make 4 and then 5. So there's no petal over here, so let's make a nice curve shape here. Out, and I'm going into the center this time. I hope you can practice both directions making your flower. And out to the center. Make one more nice curve. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4. That does kind of look like our flower that we see from nature, doesn't it? All of these flowers, shapes added together, creating a beautiful pattern right here. Let's make our 5th petal. I'm going to start from the center. If you would like to start from the center, join me in the middle of your flower and make a nice big curve shape out. And one more curve shape, making a nice petal with flower with 5 petals. Good. Okay. You'll notice we have taken a concept from nature. We've practiced our shape drawing. Now we're going to look at some color choices. You can plan your artwork ahead of time if you would like, and these are some straight lines, which you know how to draw, of different colors. I put this here to inspire you to think of what you could do with just making straight lines. It's like a color sample. And then we're going to be working with creating a pattern like this. I'm calling it a pattern today in today's class because patterns have repeated lines and shapes. So take a look over here. Do we have repeated lines or shapes? I see more than one flower. Let's go ahead and count how many we see. 1, 2, 3, there's a little one here, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oh, and then in the corner there's another one there, 8. 8 of those flowers. So we would consider that a repeated shape. And then we have all of these little shapes here that are repeated over and over and over, repeated shapes. And there's one more concept of this design that is repeated. We see the flowers, we see the little shapes. What else fills in the back to make it repeat? There's a third element, and it is the white space. So let's point to every space that is white. I see some space here, and here, here, here. Good. All of these white spaces are also repeated. And we could consider the center of the flower a repeat as well. We're going to use the curved line, and we're going to make a pattern. And we are going to repeat the lines and shapes to make a piece of art. And guess what? We are going to repeat them by 5s and by 10s. I will show you how. Okay, 2nd grade. Here we are at the art table with all of the supplies. Make sure you have a pair of scissors, a glue stick, a color. In this case, I chose blue. A color out of the warm spectrum of colors. Which one should I choose? I'm going to choose this one. And a piece of white paper. Let's begin. Let's build a pattern around our concept of the number 5. I'm going to go ahead and draw it for you if you want to keep this in mind. And the number 10. Okay, the number 5 and the number 10, we're going to make a piece of art around those 2 numbers. Okay, keep them in your mind, but I'm going to move them so that I can work with you. Using the white piece of paper, that is going to be your background. And we are going to practice again our curve shape, but this time we get to use scissors. I think it's a fun thing to use scissors. I hope you enjoy it like I do. Leave your background piece of paper for later. Take your colored piece of paper, and we are going to make a bunch of shapes out of this piece of paper. Fold it in half. We're creating 2 pieces of paper out of 1. Remember, we match the corners, and we can put our whole hand down and press along the crease to make a nice fold. Good. Now we're going to unfold, and we should see a line right in the middle, changing this one piece of paper into two. We're going to cut down the line in the middle. Please do that with me. You should have two pieces of paper, and we're going to try to use all of this paper in our project. Put one piece beside out of the way, and we're going to fold this one in half to give us an idea of where the half mark is. Put your hand flat, press the fold down, and open it up. We have two. We want to create 10 pieces of paper so that we can create our curved petals. So let's fold it again. And open it up. We have 4. One more. Can you fold it? Can you press down real hard and fold it one more time? Press, press, press. Now when we open it up, we're going to have 8. No worries, we do need 10. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But guess what? We're going to get 2 more from our other piece of paper so that we have 10. So put this above, fold your paper again. We like nice and even shapes. This is a great way to get the same flower petal shape, okay? One thing about patterns is that the shapes repeat. So the reason we're folding like this is the second, now fold it one more time, is so that we can get the same shape. We want to work with the same shape over and over to create the pattern. Unfold and count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you see that? Now we're going to cut each of these lines. We get a lot of cutting time today. I want you to cut each line till we get 10 of these shapes. All right. And while we're cutting, we can think about how we just counted by 5s. Can we cut and count by 10s? Can you do that? Let's give it a shot. Let's start with 10 and go to 100. Counting by 10s. Whew. Let's try. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. 100, our favorite number. Okay, we have to take 2 shapes from the other piece of paper. Okay, now put that aside and let's count how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's our first magic number of the day. And can we put 5 more below, making 10? Let's try. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We see that we have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we also have 2 groups of 5. How cool is that? Now we're going to create, out of these 5 pieces, we're going to create 10 pieces. And out of these 5 pieces, we're going to create 10 pieces. How do you think we're going to do that? Can you guess without me telling you? 5 pieces into 10 pieces. How do we do that? And these 5, we're going to make 10. Do we cut them in half? Did you think that already? Okay, start folding your papers in half so that you can see the line, and you cut along the line. Or if you are comfortable with scissors and you think you can do the half by just looking and estimating what the half would be, you can do it that way as well, making a little pile right here. Or if you want to, you can fold them all first, like little books in a row. Fold them all, but keep them in their 2 separate groups. Folding all first is another option because your hands are free from the scissors. Or you can confidently cut with the scissors if you feel like you can cut before folding. But see how they're still in 2 groups. Good. Continue your cutting. Doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. There's one pile, and here's my second group. Cut into 2 piles. And after this, we get to practice our curve shape. Good. One pile can be moved aside. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Now we're going to practice our curve shape. Remember how we drew and we curved it around and then we connected the line on the top? Holding your scissors, we're going to do that now. We're going to curve it out and make a point right there. Now if this curve shape seems a little bit too difficult for you, you can make your pattern with the squares. I'll show you how to. You would just make your pattern by using the squares only, okay? But if you like to cut, we're going to cut a curved shape just like this, kind of like reverse drawing. Remember how we drew a curved shape and another curved shape? We're going to cut beautiful flower petals out of each square, and we're going to have them all in a little stack, okay? If you need a little bit more help, you can draw the curve shape first. Drawing the curve shape, then cutting along the lines, okay? Curve shape to the top, and if you're right-handed, you can turn your paper around and curve shape again. And it does not have to be perfect. It can be swooshing any curve shape you want. One more, I'll cut with you. Curve shape. And any kind of curve shape back to the point. Don't worry if it's not exactly perfect. Just have fun cutting. Put your scraps over in one pile and your petals on the page. Okay, I'm going to cut more petals, and you are too. And I'm going to put the curved petals down. Continue to cut with me. Good work. Nice and easy. Cut a nice curved shape. This makes it look a little bit more like a flower. But remember, you can make your pattern with the squares too. If you just want to start with the squares, that is okay. How many flowers can we make with 5 petals in each flower? If you are done cutting, start arranging 5 petals together to make a flower. Okay? You can arrange before you glue. 1, 2, 3. We're putting the point in the middle. 4 and 5. Beautiful. Can we make another flower of 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. Arrange them on the page. Pick where you want them to go and glue those flowers, glue those beautiful flowers down. All right, I'm going to give you time to glue. You can stop the video and glue your flowers down. I will meet you back when our 2 flowers have been glued to the page. Great job. Okay, 2nd grade, your flower petals are glued down, right? And if you want to, you can cut these into petals. And if not, we can glue them down without cutting. So let's make 1 pattern piece where we glue without cutting. Guess what? We could still do 5. So if you did not want to cut them all, we can make a kind of modern art in a way looking flower by gluing our rectangles down. If you like to cut, then cut the rest of them and make another flower. Okay, we have our groupings of 5. You either cut them into petals or left them as squares. But what do we have in each grouping? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? They're all 5. Now we're going to complete our pattern with our other magic number of the day, which is number 10. For each part, we're going to do 10 little shapes. Remember, we were inspired by the other artwork with the little shapes. You could do circles or triangles. We're going to do 10 little shapes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 little shapes beside each grouping of 5 to complete our repeated section of our artwork. 5 and 10 are repeated shapes. Do 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful work. Let's do 2 more groupings of 10 for each grouping of 5. So if you have some space here, 1, 8, 9, 10. Good job. Last one over here. This is our space 5 and our grouping of 10. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How beautiful is that? Okay, we have our pattern just like the other piece of artwork. Our design would continue to repeat this pattern. And if we covered not every, remember, but white is a part of the pattern too. This concept of white, our pattern of the flower repeating by 5, and our pattern of the colored repeating by 10. How cool is that? And when we repeat these little pockets of design, we get a full design across the page. I want you to experiment and play more with this concept. There are so many things you can do. I'm going to bring it back up to compare to our original inspiration, and we're going to double check and see how we all did. All right, 2nd grade, how'd you do? I would love to see your piece of art, and I really hope you enjoyed today's lesson about math and design, and how do we Did we succeed? We have our beautiful color palette. We have our inspiration of a design pattern here. We have our shape, our curve shape, and we have our artwork. And the last thing you could do is give it a background so it looks really nice to hang up on the wall. Thank you so much for joining me today in today's lesson. Once again, my name is Miss Emolyn Liden, and I will see you next week. Keep making art.